Hi everyone, this is In the Middle with Cass and Jamie.
Hey guys.
And I'm Cass and this is Jamie, just in case for those of you who are just joining us.
Or have forgotten since it's been a while since we had a show.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We've been working on a studio. So.
We have been, and it's almost ready, so we hope to bring it to your attention very, very shortly. And we're excited about it, but since it's such a nice weather and we wanted to
and the mask mandates have been removed.
the mask mandates have been thrown out, at least here in DC and around most of the US, I know.
Yeah, most in the places that are not, it's going to become like a Katie bar the door, because people are just not going to want to wear the mask anymore, and it's over with the mask stuff. For right now,
I think people are extremely tired of all the masks, and there's lots of jokingly memes going around of people having tans all around masks. Now they've taken them off, and they're
gonna burn real bad right here. So
that's funny. But we've also been busy ourselves. I have been on a trip with my son. He had half term, so we went on a road trip from DC to Sarasota and back, and we've stopped at Charleston, at San Agustin, and then on the way back at Savannah, which was lovely. Really enjoyed that trip and enjoyed the time that we've had with Tim, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Did you stop yourself at the border?
No, we didn't. We passed it by both times.
You have to stop it south of the border.
I know, but I don't know why we didn't. It was just never really our thing.
I get it.
Yeah, and then I had another trip to Europe, which was also good, very successful. The airports are picking up. Things are sort of moving along to closer to normality. However,
did you have to fly for 9 hours with that mask on?
No, you can't fly without a mask.
No, so you had to have it on.
Yes, sorry, I have to have it on.
That sucks, because when I was flying to Tennessee, and we went to Miami about a month ago too. But when I was making those two flights, those were about 2-hour flights each. Right? That's about all I want.
It's funny because I have flown several times during the pandemic, and all of them obviously with masks on, and I have to tell you, I'm sort of used to it. One of the airlines actually told me I can't wear my own mask. I had to wear the
certified.
And they were giving them out, and I said I can't wear it. Those surgical masks, because I said I cough. Like if I wear it for long enough, I start coughing. So they allowed me to wear my mask, and then on top of my mask, I had to put the surgical mask. I thought that was a little bit much, but whatever.
But I can understand that. I know that's your situation, and that's the truth. But there's a lot of people out there that were saying, "Oh, I can't because it gives me a sneeze, or it makes me." It made everybody's nose run. It made everybody didn't like it and so forth. But a lot of people were abusing their thing. Not you, but
and I think that. You have to come to terms with the reality that you have to wear it if you want to travel. So at the end of the day, if you want to travel, you have to follow the rules, and then just find an option like I did, something that will be satisfactory to the airlines and something that will be
work with each other
for you.
Work with the airlines, work with people, work with everybody. And if it's a business and so forth that is still requiring masks and so forth, and just respect people's requests and just do it. It's kind of like no shoes, no shirt, no service, no mask, whatever. Don't try to make a statement. And we're outside in Cass's garden recording this because we're celebrating that there's no masks out, and so we're out, and we'll be at the studio probably the next show. But the cicadas have arrived.
Oh my God. You know what? The cicadas, I have been warned about the cicadas. I don't
think she was prepared.
I was prepared in the sense that I have window washers for the car in masses, because I was told that there's going to be so many of them, they're going to be flying into the windshields, and that the washing liquid is going to be running out or shortage. So I have 3 bottles of that. I have also been recommended
some more toilet paper too. There's
well, in my case, maybe I might need extra toilet paper.
Be sure to get lots of gas in your car too, because
well, that's a different story, but nothing cicada related. And so for those of you who don't know, in US, the cicadas come in broods of every 17 and 13 years.
There's one brood that's 13 years, one brood that's 17 years, and the one that we're having right now that's coming out is brood X, and it's 17 years. And so when they are born, they live in the ground for 17 years, and they come up and they mate and they plant more, have more eggs or something like that, and they die. But there's billions of these things, and they're very.
I don't know if you can hear it, but it's a distinct sound that they make that's everywhere right now, and it is absolutely crazy. Now, they, to me, are pretty unpleasant to look at. They're very ugly.
I'm trying to find one on the ground here for you.
We'll put a picture of it.
I can't joke that one's on her because she might.
Yes, please don't. I'm not biggest fan of insects, especially when they're that big and that ugly. They do make awful sound. They are absolutely harmless. They're harmless to your garden. I mean, to be honest, the birds and the foxes are having a lot of fun because they're eating them, and they're going to be very, very happy over the winter. But to be honest, they are not pleasant to look at all.
They're quite alien. But anyway,
in thousands and
billions,
billions, in billions, and we will have a picture for those of you who have never seen it. And I know I've spoken to a lot of my friends in UK and in Russia, and really not a thing there, but a very big thing here.
But if you want one, we'll send one to you. Just send us a self-addressed stamped envelope, and we'll just send you one so you can have a cicada yourself. Because
they're not fun.
There's plenty of supply.
And it's interesting because basically they live in the soil for 17 years, and then once they're ready, they come out, they drill the soil and come out. Then they cling onto a plant or anything nearby.
Guess.
Yes. And they come out of their cocoon that they're in, and then they fly off. Now, the idea is that they fly off to the tree, to a leaf where they lay eggs. Then they bite that leaf off, that falls down to the ground, and those eggs that have become little tiny moving things start drilling soil so that they can go and hide for another 17 years and then come back.
The process begins again.
And how many have you seen here?
3.
That's insane. Honestly,
Cause I old. Well, actually, this might. I mean, 3 or 4. I mean, it's going to when the last one hit, but.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. So, pardon me if one decides to fly into my face.
If she flies off the camera real fast and you hear a scream, and you see an arm, hit me in the face, it's a cicada.
Why. It's a cicada. So nothing personal to Jamie, though. Might be reasons too, but I don't know. But
it's just an excuse. Don't trust her. It's just an excuse. I was like, you've been waiting for that one for a long time.
Anyway, so the cicadas are here. We are unprepared. I've got the bees hat.
She's not prepared.
Bees hat to walk myself from the house to the car when the actual shit hits the fan. Yeah, I mean, it's scary.
Okay, moving on.
We spend about too much time on the cicadas, but I just wanted everybody to know.
Well, it's a very traumatic day for Cass right now,
extremely,
and for a lot of people out there too. So it's not just Cass. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't like the cicadas. So
yeah. You know what happened in Europe, and I know that in the past, for the past 7 years that I've been here, the Eurovision Song Contest just ended this weekend. On Sunday was the final. And it's a big thing for Europe, and I know that the US has started to sort of publish it, talk about it, and introduce it to the US citizens. But for Europe, it has been big and for a very long time. And it's an interesting concept because it came about around 1950s after the Second World War. It was an idea of uniting Europe,
right.
And they've united with music was eventually, but at first they just wanted to have a ability to use television to share things between countries.
Well, they just want some wire connecting everything because everything was so messed up. Everything destroyed after the war. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not being facetious. I'm being serious. It was everything was so destroyed, and connecting people in some kind of way
Yes.
And so
And unifying them.
And unifying them.
And so basically a European broadcasting union has come up, and it started broadcasting amongst like 8 or 9 countries at first, and I believe there was a British journalist who first used the term Eurovision when they were broadcasting something to Denmark, or I think it was Denmark, and he used that word. So Eurovision has popped up from there, and Coronation of Elizabeth II was transmitted through the European Broadcasting Union. And around 1955, Eurovision Song Contest came about. Now, what it is basically each country chooses a representative, either a song,
Individual
an
singer.
individual singer, thank you, or a band to represent the country, and come to this competition. Now, what it appears to be now, some countries choose that individual or band. Some countries have their internal country contest for the population to choose who will then eventually be representing the country. And they go and they have a 2-3 days
Music festival contest.
Contest, and then on Sundays they choose the finalists, and then on the finalists then perform on Sunday. And yesterday was that yesterday.
May 21st.
Was
What's
the I don't know what the day is. It's the 23rd, but
okay,
on the 22nd,
May 22nd
was the final, and Italy won this time around. Yeah, last year they had to cancel it because of the pandemic, obviously, and this
nobody
year,
felt like singing.
yes, 26 countries were in the final, and the way it works is that each country, the jurors call and give their grade marks on, whatever
It's
points.
the same thing that in the U.S. that they had with some of these talent shows that they had. People would kind of text in or dial in.
Yes, so they do that
They
too.
would do that.
And so basically,
it's something
then
like that,
they give people of European countries that participate to have a chance to text in. While that information is collected, the jurors on the ground give their marks, and then they go around every country and pick up the points. And so Italy won, and they have 524 points. I have to say that Russia was at number 9, and a devastating 0 points for United
What
Kingdom.
happened? Seriously, that's
Yes.
really shocking.
I know, very
I didn't know
shocking,
that.
very upsetting, but it is the fact.
Well, Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson.
Boris Johnson.
Boris Johnson. The one with the personality and the hair. He wouldn't let anybody out of their house. They couldn't do anything.
Well, I don't think that really lockdown had any.
I'm trying to help here.
I know, I'm sorry, but I don't think that helps at all. It was just not something that people enjoyed thoroughly, as you can imagine.
Well, clearly it's Brexit.
Yes, it is definitely Brexit that had.
We're out of the EU, and we're out of Eurovision. We're done with you.
None of the European countries apparently decided that they want to give any points.
And guess what?
Even though this is not supposed to be political, just like the Olympics, nothing's supposed to be. This is supposed to be totally.
Everything
is political at the end of the
your
day.
Your family, your church, your life, everything is political. Just mark it down, accept it, and move on, and play accordingly. Okay.
I think that this is just a fun thing that I wanted to share with you, because I think that's pretty big, and it's
something related to.
Sing Flowrider was helping out one country, and I'm gonna have to look it up which one. But he's American, and but I guess anyway. So it's becoming bigger and bigger as the years go on.
It just never was.
But it's also, do you know what it is? It's a very bizarre to a certain degree contest because every single year you see a tendency. There was a year that there was a band that won, and there was something, and they were the freakish people on the stage. I mean, they looked like they were. It was insane. It was just very crazy. And they won because they were so out there. There was a woman with a beard that won. And that was
it glued on, or did she
no,
have
it
it?
was a real beard. It was you know, so the contest gives you ability to expose yourself and be open about it, and sort of give everybody a chance to
Your beard problem?
your beard problem too.
Well, I mean, listen, hey, more power. I'm for the bearded ladies, so I
Yeah,
don't care.
but I mean, it's fun because
but
it
it's something different. It gave them a unique.
absolutely gives them
Aspect
a platform where you could be.
The main thing is, could they sing? And could they
yes,
rise?
yes,
Well, there
a
you
lot
go.
of them could.
That's all.
Yes.
I don't care.
And even though
hairy face and all, it doesn't matter.
The representative for UK could sing too. He just, you know, because a lot of it is all about appearance.
Well, nobody would vote for the UK.
The
Like,
the
yeah,
presentation of your song is very, very big.
Yeah.
You know, the rhythm and the beat and just
The staging
way the
too,
staging
yeah.
are phenomenally important.
No.
Okay,
All right.
well, that was it. Another very theatrical thing that turned into be very questionable is the Pride Parade in New York.
No, this is not funny. This is a really serious situation. Serious, I mean, in the context of life. I mean, this is not a life or death situation, but it is one of those turning moments in ironic moments in life when you see things like this happening. What this is
happening?
What this is the thank you. The
Because you know.
Because let me tell you, this thing, I'm not going to tell you what it is. No, the people who are running Pride, Gay Pride in New York City, and have in the parade in New York, which is one of the largest gay pride parades in the world, for the last decade or two, they have, I know, for the last decade or two, they have had a contingency, I think for the last 20 years or so, of gay officers who marched in the parade.
Police officers.
Police officers, yes. Police officers with the NYPD that marched in dress blues, wearing white gloves, in formation, every one of them carrying rainbow flags. Now, this is a huge leap from where we were in 1969 at Stonewall and the rules and the laws and so forth that were totally discriminatory against gay, lesbian people in the community. And because of the situation of some individuals that are in the police field, and there's been such a desire to push for police reform, the organizers of the parade have decided, unwisely and foolishly in my opinion, to block the officers from marching in the parade. A parade and festival that is put together.
Wasn't that the whole point? Is
Exactly.
to again unite everyone and give everybody the chance to be that.
It's about inclusion and celebration of diversity, and it's very ironic to me and sad that you've got people who have agendas that are reaching into a festival and an event that's supposed to be celebrating these diversities and celebrate inclusion. I'll tell you, in 1998, the first and only time I ever went to the Gay Pride Parade in New York, because I don't really go to those things, but I went with a bunch of my friends from college, and you know, the parade's going on and so forth. But the moment that I saw these 250 officers marching in formation, in dress blues, wearing white gloves, carrying rainbow flags, made a difference in my life. It made a difference of this is where things are changing, and we are everywhere. And it wasn't like the epiphany of like, oh, this saved my life, but it is a huge symbol for the community and for the organizers for Pride in New York and I don't know if they're doing it with others, but for them in New York to exclude these officers who are also gay and part of the community. They're excluding members of our own community from participating because they happen to be a officer and a law enforcement officer, a person who is willing to lay their life down for the safety of all of us, is just unconscionable. And I think it is a prime example, and we'll be talking about this in some of the other shows about cancel culture and a lot of the things that have come up out of these social changes that need to be changed, but they're throwing out the baby with the bathwater on so many of them. So anyway.
But I found that to be so ridiculous when I first heard of it, because I was incensed, questioning the actual, not legitimacy of the parade then, but the actual point. It is the legitimacy. I mean, you're cutting at the core of what the purpose of this event is. Mm-hmm. I don't go to pride events just because. I mean, you can choose to go or not. I think that the idea of somebody being allowed and somebody not being allowed, that is
it goes against the core values of the entire purpose of the celebration. Anyway, this is going to be a question that's not going to be resolved today, but I'd like to hear people's comments on that, in any experiences that you've had, in your point of view. Maybe you have a different point of view of this, and you think that the police should be blocked. The gay officers should be blocked from participating. But
is there a question why is there an explanation why that has happened? Is there a reason to protect them from situations on the street if they're recognized?
No. The reason is because the officers are seen as an oppressive, because they're going to be in their uniforms. They're seen as an oppressive force.
You have to stop doing that, babes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm very emotional.
I'm very, very emotional.
And so all of this is happening.
Yeah, well, you should see what's going on inside.
And I'm sorry to hear that. I really, truly think that I also understand. Obviously, I don't understand to the degree that this is troubling for you. But for me, it's also questionable. I then really don't understand the point of the parade if somebody's excluded. Well, that to me is a question, and I think this is going to be going on for a while. We'll be following the story and seeing if it might change.
Are there problems with the police? Yeah, there's problems with the police, but let me tell you, it's not the majority of the police, and it's not all the police. It's we need to fix some certain things about the police. I'm sure that no one's perfect,
but not the ability of being able to go on a parade.
And I don't want to go into it. I mean, because it's the entire defund the police and everything. Well, let me tell you something. The minute you're being robbed, or somebody's being raped, or somebody's being killed in your neighborhood or your family, I bet you're going to want the police. So,
thank you for that, Jamie.
Anyway, I will stop.
I'm sure that many of you are as well. And please share your comments and your thoughts on this. We would like to see what you think, and we'll share the comments with everybody else too.
My main problem with a lot of this too is we can't. Everything's such a overreaction, and there's no. If you even have a question or you want to have a conversation about this, or if you make a comment that's supportive of the police, you're racist, or you're oppressor, or you're really okay. Do you think that's really encouraging conversation? And I think that everybody needs to everybody needs to take a step back and reflect, and not do outrageous and stupid things that can be hurtful and that can take years to rebuild relationships.
Yeah, breaking is much easier than building.
Yeah, and like I said, it goes on all sides. I mean, so it is not just right, you're wrong.
On another serious topic.
No, we went from downer for
on another serious topic as well. But I think we need to mention the Israeli and Gaza situation that's been going on for a while, and also has spilled into New York and LA.
And I never would have thought there's been a lot of things that have happened in the last few years that I never would have thought. But yeah, that the problems in the Middle East and the problems in Israel are spilling over into the streets of the U.S. And
I think generally a lot has been happening there. There's been a lot of exchange of fires, and a lot of people have died. And the situation that hasn't been able to be resolved in so many years. I mean, Israel is a young country, but nevertheless, the crisis.
And an Asian country. I mean,
it has been going on for a while. The worst of it is the death of so many people,
especially children.
And that's horrifying, and really shouldn't be happening. Well, we want to finish with something a little bit lighter. Well, actually, two stories. We'll have to really go fast through them. Now, a story that happened in UK. A mother in Bedfordshire, Carla Louise, at the age of 28. Has been doing some cleaning up of
the mother's 28?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize she was that young.
And she was doing some gardening and moving things around, and she has some interesting...
she has some old Halloween decorations, right?
Decorations, yes, that she used for parties, because her son's very much into big decorations. And so what happened is that a huge fiasco for her, and basically what looked like a dummy wrapped up in garbage bags and garbage, and wrapped in
corpse. It looked like she had somebody
a body
wrapped up dead in the car. So,
and she left it in her garden by her somewhere, and she had to rush to get her son from school. As she drove back, her house is surrounded by 10 police cars, and her neighbor's outside, and she walks out and goes to the neighbor along the lines of, so what did you do? Joking.
They're here for you, girl.
Without realizing that really what has happened is that all of those police were there for her. Because 3 houses, 3 neighbors saw that, assumed that was a body, assumed that she killed somebody, and just wrapped up the body in garbage bin bags, wrapped in self-tape, and basically left it there. So the police came. And
they were very close. You could tell.
And it was the funny thing is that the child was saying his 5-year-old boy. He's really into dressing up for every occasion possible. Basically,
there's going to be some other issues coming up with that one. Anyway.
He said, oh, this is Eddie or something, and I don't want to throw him away. I like him.
This is Frankie. You can't throw Frankie away. No.
So basically, that was hilarious. So 10 police cars came over to investigate a potential murder case of a basically rubbish in a bin bag that was in the shape of a body.
But no one got shot because UK cops, they might now. Do they carry guns?
No, no, and not everybody, I don't believe. Some. Now, the fun story that I thought was super hilarious.
This is great.
Is imagine it's your big day, and by big day I mean a wedding.
Or divorce, whichever one's best for you.
Whichever one prefer, but we're referencing to the big day of wedding. And so it's your wedding, and you're a groom, and
that which means you're stupid, and you haven't been paying attention at all during any of this process.
And your important part really is to just be at the place at the right time. Show up. So this young man with his entourage, sit in a car, put their GPS address into where they're supposed to be, and drive out, come to this lovely place.
Where this lovely wedding was going on.
And where another wedding was kind of about to happen.
But they didn't know it was another wedding. They
didn't know it was another wedding. They basically walk in a house that is preparing. There's a family members, everybody's dressed up, so they're assuming, all right. They don't recognize anyone, but they're thinking, oh, fair enough. It's probably, you know.
But nobody's saying anything to anybody. You know, the families aren't saying anything to each other because they're like, oh, I guess it's the other families.
So that for a good while, they were thinking that everybody was thinking that it's the opposite side's family members.
Well, they got all the way up to the altar and they were taking the final vows.
They were about to, no. So they
didn't get that far.
They gave out the presents that they came with, you know.
So they had to go
up front. The actual groom of this particular wedding, the house that they came to, was late. So
and the bride was in the back getting her makeup done.
So it took
just
them
a
a while to realize that they were at the wrong wedding. Then they had to excuse themselves, take the presents that they
take the presents back, and then book their butts across town to the right venue, where now you have a pissed off bride. So, and her family, because I'm sure they're like, did you stand her up? I mean, so it's just, this is just a comedy of errors.
All round. I think a movie could be made on this.
I love it.
With an interesting ending. Imagine in 10 years' time, these two couples get divorced and marry each other. Cross marriage.
See that happy day I was talking about.
This is a scenario that I can live and you can make a movie from. But I thought that was something fun we could share with you, and we want to say that we're back, and we'll be seeing you next week. Hopefully you are all staying nice, safe, healthy.
Enjoying the weather and enjoying it may be cicadas, but at least we can get outside with them right now and enjoying being maskless. And we're very
thoroughly enjoying
but
that.
I do want to be serious for 1 second. I mean, we all need to be very thankful and grateful for all the hard work of all of the emergency responders and doctors and medical people and police and volunteers and the researchers and everything else that has gotten us to this point where we could get back to normal, and also how lucky we are here in the United States to have been at this point. And most of the world is not like this, and so I think it's important for us to stop and reflect and think about the seriousness of the situation and be grateful for where we are with the vaccines and the distribution of them, because not everybody has them.
So on this positive note, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, ring that bell, and we'll see you in a week. Bye everyone.
Bye.